Torts, after seeing some progress and wins against Detroit in that first game in Dallas, were you disappointed in what happened in that second game, not able to generate any kind of offense and the way you have to leave there being shut out?
Yeah, I don't think we really played a bad couple of periods in parts of it. Some of the game wasn't good. I didn't like our third period. I thought we got down and it's almost like we just got so sloppy. I didn't like the way we ended the game. I think you play the game no matter what the score is, you play it right to the end. I don't think we did. I getting down 2-0 right away didn't help. I'd make that call again. I just don't understand why that goal's allowed. And what happens, it piggybacks onto a power play and they score on that. It puts us into a jam. Still didn't develop enough offense though, Bobby. Still not consistently enough. We've made some strides in more forechecking. That game there had some forechecking. I think we took a little bit of a sideways step. We were building on some forechecking the prior two games. I think we took a sideways step and maybe slid down a little bit. So we got to get back on that tonight.
When you challenged that goal, I just want to clarify this. Your challenge was that you felt that they pushed, they got the stick underneath the pad and pushed the puck into the goal, right? That it should have been a dead play.
No, what I challenged is, and we just looked at the rule again today, and we saw that the highlight they gave us explaining the rule is exactly what happened. I challenged that he pushed Corpy's pad into the net and the puck followed. The puck was not in the net until he shoved Corpy's leg and pad into the net. The reason why it was taking so long to challenge it, we weren't even looking at that at first. We were looking at the offside. We thought it was offside. And we looked at a bunch of different angles and we could not see the puck. You can't see the puck on any of the angles that we got. We exhausted that and we figured we got to let the goal counts. And then our video guy, Aaron, yelled to us, take a look at the interference. And there's no question that's an interference call to me. And I just don't get in the explanation and the rule that was sent to me on email, it almost enhances that it shouldn't have been a goal. So, but we didn't score anyway, Bobby. Hey, we didn't score anyway, and we lose the game.
No, I understand. Yeah, and that's what I was trying to say. They pushed the puck over the line. Hey, Patrick Laine left your practice yesterday. What's his status today?
Seems to be good to go.
Okay.
Good to go.
All right. So since he's playing, I want to go a little bit further. You've been telling me the last couple of times we talked, and we've talked about him specifically, you want him to carry the puck more. You want him to go in one-on-one battles. You want him to challenge. Are you seeing any headway in those talks that you're having with him on that?
And we just talked again. I'm putting him on right wing tonight because he's a player. It's amazing to me, these players that seem so sure of themselves, have such great swagger, end up losing confidence. He has zero confidence right now. And I'm moving him to right wing and getting him off his backhand playing left wing because I want him to go that way. I want him to look north. And I think he'll start skating north. He's so apprehensive in his game. He opens up right away when he's on left wing to his right-hand shot, and he's looking east. The biggest thing for me to relay to him, and which I just did, is we don't grade people on just goals and assists. We grade on the whole package and what you do, the other things, the forechecking, the back checking. He's done quite a bit of back checking. He's the first man back in our end zone quite a bit as far as the low man. I don't question his effort. I just question his legs. He's not moving his legs. I think he's going to start skating at people with that big body, and I think plays will open up for him if he wants to make a play. And I think ice will open up for him if he wants to take a shot. There were a couple weeks early on here, every shot he took had a chance to go in the net. Now he's not even looking to shoot a puck. And we got to just try to get him straightened out mentally. And had another conversation with him this morning, Bobby, before tonight's game.
Yeah, and that's the thing, sitting as a fan or watching the games like I do, that's the thing that's been most frustrating. You see at the end of the night, he's got one shot on net, two shots on net. I mean, I know Yarmo said how well he passes. He's shown us that since he's gotten here, how well he can pass the puck. But Torts, I don't want to see him pass the puck. I want to see him shoot the puck.
Yeah. And I think if he just clears his head and, Goal scorers want to score goals. That's what that makes them the being. I think he's a little bit different. I think he wants to be the best player he can be. I really do, as I talk to him, and it's really encouraging conversations with him. He wants to be a complete player. I think he needs to just worry with lack of confidence as far as shooting, but just worry about the other stuff. Then the shots are going to come. And the biggest thing is I want him to test people. I want him to move his legs because he can get up and down the ice too. And I think things will open up for him that way.
You did practice with some different lines yesterday. Will you go with those lines in the game tonight?
Yep. Those will be the lines tonight.
So you had Foligno, Jenner, and Atkinson together, correct?
Yes. Yeah.
All right.
I have to break up Jack's line because it's gone stale, and it's been a struggle for them in the end zone. I mean, they got it fed to him by Fasca's line out there in Dallas, and second game I tried to get him away from him. It's sometimes it's tough to do with forwards. But it just hasn't been working. It was working for a couple of weeks really well, kept them together. So I'm going to take Cam off of there and put him with a couple of people that are going to plug and forecheck, and Cam can maybe benefit with getting some open areas with his shot.
Well, not only guys that can plug and forecheck, but you're putting together three veterans there that have played together for a long time, guys that know each other's tendencies without even thinking, right?
Yes. Yeah. I've played them together before. They've been teammates for so long. I'm anxious to see how the line works. I'm hoping it gives us, it kind of stimulates us into back into some forechecking. I really liked where our team was going, the Detroit game and the first Dallas game, as far as the amount of time of forechecking and giving yourself opportunities to forecheck. I hope that line can kind of ignite us a little bit with some of that.
A couple of weeks ago, you flipped Grigorenko for Bemstrom, and you've left it that way for a while. And I know in the first time, I think it was the first time you scratched Grigorenko this year, you stressed to me that, look, I'm not taking him out because of him. I've just got to do something different here. Where does he stand on your depth chart right now?
Gregor?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's got to wait his turn. And again, to get back in, because and like he's told me, I want to give him a chance in the top 6 spot. I don't think he knocked the ball out of the park at all by any means as far as his play. He didn't hurt us. He didn't play poorly, but there wasn't a lot of offensive plays either. And but he has told me he doesn't mind playing right up and down the lineup. He thinks he can check. He thinks he can block shots, which is good to know for me. But right now I'm gonna stick with some people. Bemmer's one of them. I think Bemmer has improved in some areas. I'd love to, an important moment for him was when we're up 3-2 in that first Dallas game. Jenner makes a great play to him. Bemmer walks in all alone. He could have made it 4-2 and the game's over instead of us going through grinding away to win that. And I think it would have been a really boost for him as far as confidence. I'm hoping he can score some goals for us, Bobby. Bemmer scored 10 last year. That's what he's touted to be. I'm trying to give him an opportunity there, and I'm going to give him a little bit more time. Same thing with Max. Max is another one that he shows signs on a couple of shifts that he's coming out of it. Then it's just way too inconsistent. But I have to make that decision, and that's where Gregor stands. I made a decision to stay with those guys, and he's going to have to wait his turn.
Speaking of that play by Emil Bemstrom, and I remember it specifically because I think in some cases when he gets the puck like that, I want to use the word nervous. He looks nervous, but I think maybe I'll ask you, is he thinking too much? Is he so in a spot where he's trying to get that goal, where he's trying to be perfect, where he's trying to stay in the lineup, that he needs to just shut his brain off and play like he can play?
Might be. To me, I look at that play. I think he's got such a great shot. He's got such a great release. And I'm not him, and who the hell am I to talk about it? But I like to just see him shoot the puck. And I think when you end up going to your backhand in that situation, maybe it's because he is thinking a little bit too much. Now, it's a good move. He has a chance to score the goal, but I don't know. He's just got such a great release and disguises his shot so well. I'd like to see him shoot it, but he's certainly not full of confidence. He's been in and out of the lineup. I'm trying to coach him differently this year. I'm trying to leave him alone. I was hard on him last year. I was hard on him for a number of different things and trying to teach him to be a pro. And I'm trying to leave him alone and have him try to figure out his game. And I'm going to give him more opportunity here and see what happens.
Do you know at what point of your coaching career you got to where you had to talk players into shooting pucks instead of passing pucks?
Yeah, it is. There wasn't many problems with that early on in my career. I think when the game is opened up more, You have more opportunities to look for different things. Yeah, I think you have to be selfish sometimes. Everybody thinks selfish is a bad word, but sometimes an offensive player has to be selfish about just trying to score a goal.
And, your team has been built in these last couple of years on getting the dirty goals. We've talked many times about trying to get goals that are too fancy, everybody trying to make the highlight shows. And I think that's a real thing just throughout the entire sport. You got to get back to getting the dirty goals.
Yeah, I do. But I preface it with this because everybody keeps, a lot of people talk to me about, what we built it and what our identity is. We're a different team. We have different personnel. We've lost 3 players that added to us in that jam of the game: Gus, Andy, and Luke. That's a full line. And I'm not going to turn Jack into a Jenner who's going to be in the blue paint. I can't. Patty I think can do both of them. I think he can score goals. He's such a big body. I think he's willing to go to the blue. But as I put Jens's line together, we're hoping we get that. We get more of that. Bemer, is he that type of guy? I think he followed guys, but we just had more of a mindset to do that because we had more people that were able to do that and were built to do that. And this is where, as I've said now for a couple of weeks, that I'm caught in between on where you go with this club here. And but we have to try to find a way to put more pucks in the blue. And guys have got to change their game a little bit to add that to it also. I think that's what you're saying. Jack's got to add some of that to it, but I'm not going to turn him into a grinder. He's just, it won't work to turn him into a guy that's going to be into blue paint all the time. He has some skill. I want to see him distribute the puck. That's a big part of the game that he needs to improve on.
Yeah. If you could cross him with some other guys, you'd have it perfect, right?
Yeah. Well, you always think you have that perfect setup, but you never really do.
All right. I'm glad you said all of that and spelled it out like you did, because I think sometimes unfairly you're perceived as a coach that this is my way and this is how we're going to play. And I don't care what players we have. This is what we're going to do. But that's not today's game. You as a coach have to bend and mold to the players that you have on your roster, don't you?
Absolutely. It's one of the most important parts of a head coach is to see what you have and try to give them every avenue, that individual player, and then as a group, as a team, the best avenue to try to have success. The people that say it's my way or the highway are people that just want to give me shit. Let's face it. I make my own bed with a number of things as I've gone through my career, the intensity that I bring and how I've pushed people. I get all that. But if people really are fair and they want to make an assessment, what they should make an assessment is, we got a guy there that is confused about his lineup as far as how he should. I'm still trying to figure out how we can get down a successful road. But tonight, if people say I'm not listening to players, they're out of their mind, and they can, quite honestly, they can kiss me because they just want to grind. They want to grind me, and that's a crowded bus, Bobby. It really doesn't bother me because I'm never going to chase the perception of what people see. But if you want to really have an intellectual conversation about what we're trying to do here, I'll do it. But so I guess that's kind of it pisses me off though. It really does. It's just so Neanderthal. It's his way or the highway. My God, maybe 10 years ago, yeah, that was it. But I think I've tried to evolve as a coach with today's athlete.